How about that Ohio State versus Michigan football game? Oh,
college football on
man,
TIT
did
Sports.
Michigan get shafted hard, and I'm not talking about that 4th and 1. He was clearly over the goal line. Not the goal line. He was clearly over the 4th and 1.
Watching.
Screenshot. I've always watched college football week 1, and then I start at week 6, 7-ish when they start playing each other in the conferences, and it gets more interesting. All that garbage. I shouldn't say garbage. That's mean. But week 2 through like week 5, where they play like homecoming matches against Division I quadruple A schools, and they win like
blow them out.
And they're like, Alabama beat Central Alabama Tech 437-3.
I want to know how that process goes. Like, who invites himself
you.
to? Who invites himself to be like, I want to get pumped.
No, I'll tell you exactly what happens, actually, because it makes sense for those schools. But by the way, the clip will be about LeBron and J.R. Smith playing for Ohio State, which I think at some point in the next week or two, we're going to start seeing LeBron joins Ohio State practice, plays tight end, is unstoppable.
And then that's his second.
He's already a linebacker, right?
Yeah.
He's going to win more rings. So here's how it happens, and the greatest case is actually involving Michigan. Michigan and Appalachian State. Appalachian State is like a Division I AA school. And what happens is during homecoming, colleges go out, big programs. They want to put on a show for their fans and their boosters and all that stuff. And they also want their homecoming to be happy and fun. So, like, what's one way to do that? Well, all the parents are in town, all the alumni are in town, everyone's there, pack the stadium, and let's win 84-0. Well, Michigan did this. I think it was actually the first game of the season. So they wanted a tune-up game. Probably wasn't homecoming in this case. They pay Appalachian State. The University of Michigan pays them hundreds of thousands of dollars to get their ass kicked. And then if they come in and they win, you just paid a team.
How many times does that happen?
$100,000. I think like 3 times.
I would love to be part of that team.
I mean, it was a block field goal, and they ran it back and they won. It was unbelievable. So
crazy.
LeBron and JR amongst Tristan Thompson, Kevin Love, Mike Dunleavy, we're hanging out the Ohio State-Michigan game. Here's the video from Uninterrupted from J.R. Smith.
So, squad.
Black Beatles, baby. We in the city.
Black Beatles up in the horseshoe. Up in the horseshoe, the Black Beatles. The white Beatle Kev over there. Yeah, I mean, shout out. I'm at Dunsky on the low ski.
White stripes, baby.
So the question is, being that we play professional basketball, didn't go to college, can we come back and play college football? Do we still have eligibility?
I say yeah.
Somebody give us the answer.
I'm trying to play a snap for Ohio State Buckeyes. Straight up. Yeah!
Hey, wide receiver always looking good. Why you hating, RJ?
I ain't got nothing else to do. I love Ohio State.
Tristan Thompson went to Texas.
Yeah,
that's really great. The white Beatle Kevin Love. And
that was pretty funny.
The white stripes.
By the way, it seems like we've not spoke. I'm sure you probably did a clip on this, but Kevin Love's first quarter, like when was that?
But what happened in quarter 6?
But come on.
4? He had like 34 points. No, Kevin Love's been playing unbelievably well for the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's back to like that 20-10 form pretty much.
Timberwolves form.
He was like 8 of 10 from 3.
I remember. It reminded me of remember the game against the Clippers? How many years ago was it, Dan? You remember when the Timberwolves played the Clippers and the Clippers were in front, going up the fourth quarter?
Was that like the 40-30 game?
Yeah, and he just like went off. He was literally on fire. People couldn't get near him, and he was making shots from everywhere around the court. And I remember I was just this is when I was loving basketball, but I wasn't as familiar with the players. And I was like, who is this guy? Like, who is it? He looks like he's a librarian or something like that. A very tall, studious man, and he's just sinking shots from distance. And that was when his hair was a little bit longer. And then next minute, I'm like, and I was watching this game the other night, and he went off in the first quarter. I was like, this is the same guy. Like, this is remarkable. This is a guy that was touted as the guy that was out of place in this the Cleveland team last year, 2 years before. But if you get him
the guy who was out of place who won a national championship.
Yeah, and helped them no matter. He's a very quantifiable player. If he's not adding the points on the board, then everyone thinks he's useless.
Hey man, look, he played defense on Steph Curry when it mattered most in that
sir.
final shot. So Kevin Love. Look, the Cavaliers. I really do believe. The more and more I watch them, the more I believe that they're going to go back to back. Even though, my God.
Like Jordan 96,
the
97?
Warriors and the Clippers and the Spurs look more terrifying than last year. The Spurs haven't lost on the road.
No.
It's been like It's been I think it's like they've lost 2 games in 2 calendar years on the road. I don't get how that's even possible. Now, last year they had the home stretch of going like 41-1. This year it's the road stretch where they're 10-0 on the road so far. So no, it's not been 2 calendar years, but still.
It's funny that this year they'll actually probably get more focus towards their record because Golden State Warriors are so much focus on what's going on with Kevin Durant that they won't look into how they're trying to pursue a record as much. Like last year, the Spurs were playing phenomenally well, and everyone was just so, zoned in.
We're still zoned in
on the
Warriors and the Cavs.
I think the Spurs are still a little bit more focused.
Kawhi Leonard is stepping into. I did a clip on this. Kawhi Leonard is stepping into threes like Kevin Durant. Yeah. He's turning around like Kobe. I know he didn't train with him, but it still seems like he trained with him. And doing turnaround jumpers with Kobe. He added offensive moves to his arsenal that are scary. They're scary because he's already the second best defender in the league. I still think LeBron, just because of his size. I mean, transition, you can probably give it to Kawhi.
And they've got the difference maker. Is they've got Greg Popovich, who is going to be as the word complacent just doesn't come into his vocabulary. Like he's just like they had a phenomenal performance. I know I mentioned it was a record break, and be like, what record did they break? Okay, they went on. They met a they had a milestone. Blah blah blah. Same thing, but that's just amazing how people focus in on that little part rather than the fact that Greg Popovich never gets complacent. Like he will rip his team apart on their, as you mentioned, a homecoming month. He'll rip them apart on their wedding day. That was good. You said I do, but look at the state of your suit.
Your execution on your vows were garbage.
Yeah, you weren't playing transitional defense. You didn't shore up the bridesmaids. No, I'm not buying it.
Weak wedding day form, red wedding day form, pretty much. Game of Thrones reference. You don't watch because you're a lunatic. That was kind of mean.
Thanks for calling. No, but you just set the internet alight. The only thing you could have done that would be worse there is said that I don't watch Game of Thrones, that I rarely go on Pornhub, and I say never play World of Warcraft. Now you're just going to have all these internet fellows attack me.
I'm a gamer and I haven't played World of Warcraft. So can LeBron James and J.R. Smith be eligible for Ohio State football?
That's what we're here to talk about, actually.
They didn't go to college. They both came out of high school. I'm pretty sure J.R. Smith did too. Newark, actually, for J.R. Smith, New Jersey, represent. Even though he's got the New York tattoo on his neck. That's what I'm going to get, a New Jersey tattoo.
I feel like people from Jersey just kind of want to say that they're from New York.
We always have. We just lie. If you're close enough, you're like, I'm from New... Yeah.
York.
Can they play? I don't think so. But if they were to, LeBron, I guess, as either a tight end or a linebacker. I mean, he already is a linebacker. And J.R. Smith said he wants to play wide receiver. And J.R. Smith has enormous hands.
What is
and he's got the height.
Yeah. What's the rules and regulations that would prevent them? There's not an age. There might be an age. There's not an age limit that it comes down to college sports? Because I know, because I went through this process, that they could technically play any IA sports, which is obviously the division separate, because I think you're allowed to play there if you have played professionally in another sport. But in college, I don't know, because it's a different sport, it will come into cloudy territory, but I think if you're paid to play a sport, I think that's where...
The eligibility rules, there's a lot of them. There are so many of them when it comes to college football and college basketball. Which, by the way, I mean, because the same thing you could say is, well, why couldn't LeBron play? He didn't go to college. Why can't he play basketball at Ohio State?
Well, I think that's when it comes, because it's the same sport he's been paid. But
won so many championships.
Yeah, I think they would find a loophole in order to prevent them from doing it if there wasn't something there, because they wouldn't want to see that happen. But I would love to see it happen. I think if he was to make a jump to be like, you know what, I want to play Ohio State golf, people would be like, all right, go for it. Have fun.
Go for it.
Go for it. Go for it. See how far you get. But as far as like American football, I think it would break ratings. I think LeBron James would be very successful. I think J.R. Smith would maybe try to take shots.
Size of them, dude. You can't. They're adults amongst men. You can't. It's like Thon Maker. He couldn't play college basketball in the United States because he's 37.
Do you think J.R. Smith would be upset though if he didn't get thrown? If he didn't get the passes thrown to him regularly, because he's so used to getting what he wants.
Light. That's the thing. Is like he doesn't get to. I guess maybe he should just be quarterback then, because then he gets the green light to throw it wherever he wants.
I think so.
Or run it wherever he wants. I feel like J.R. Smith, when he was in high school, I mean, going into college, would have been a phenomenal football player, too. Obviously, we know LeBron would have. People forget, like, J.R. Smith is a little bit older now, but used to have speed and the ability to literally jump out of the building.
Yeah. And it's the
height
dunks,
as well. Windmill dunks. He's a freak athlete, and he's a wingspan, too. So I just couldn't imagine LeBron James being a linebacker for like a patrolling
I don't know
Ray
why-
Lewis-esque linebacker.
Why do you put? I would put LeBron James a wide receiver
So
as
people
well.
say
just
like,
from
why not?
height.
He's like, no, man, dude, that guy patrolling the field, he's already an amazing defender. I think he could single-handedly change an entire defense.
I think that
Imagine
you're thinking
LeBron
too
rushing
strategically.
you.
I
You're
want
thinking LeBron rushing the quarterback. You can't stop that every time. You're gonna get sacked 34 times a game.
Do you know how long it will take for that to get boring? Like 2 or 3 minutes. You know how long it will take to see LeBron James try to catch as many passes as possible? It'll never be boring.
Like my grandfather always says, Jason, you just play both sides of the ball.
All right.
That's what happens when you play.
Wrap it up.
That's what happens when you play at Rutgers in 1947. Comment below, like, favorite, and subscribe to the channel. Could LeBron or JR, or actually, if LeBron and JR played with Ohio State, what positions would you put them as? We'll see you next time.